كلت لحمة.
اه.
اوكي، كلت حتة لحمة مع محشي، ما قدرتش.
لا بالهنا والشفا بقى خلاص.
بس لا اسمه ايزي، يلا.
It's not.
اوكي. ده انا دخلت.
هاي دانا.
هاي دانا، مبروك.
Allah,
مبروك
thank
مبروك
you,
ألف
thank
مبروك.
you, thank you, ladies. Allah يبارك
The most
فيكم.
gorgeous grandma ever.
Oh, you guys are too kind.
And don't say grandma, you're not a grandma
Exactly, but
خالص.
يعني this
It,
is
it,
this,
it I don't know. It's so many mixed feelings. It
of
is,
course.
I mean, it's definitely what everybody tells you
Mm,
that when you see your grandchild, you know, the incredible like surge of love.
of course.
But it's slow. It's slow. It's not
Mm,
like this,
mm,
you know,
mm,
there's a gradual sort of build up, but I felt it this morning because they have very, very funny systems here in Japan. So Wala and Wala, her husband, could spend the night with her in the hospital. So we came
mm,
home yesterday, and then we're not allowed to go except visiting hours that start at 1 p.m. So I woke up today.
Wow.
No, no, I want to go now.
mm,
I want to
mm.
go see him now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when you feel it. But oh my gosh, like there's some ladies on here, not right now, but I know there's some ladies on here who are also grandmothers. Um, it's hard to watch your daughter in labor. Those of you who
Yeah.
have daughters, yeah, I wasn't expecting because you know, like you've been through it, but
Mm,
that was, I think, the hardest thing. And here in Japan, no pain medications, zero. They don't have
mm.
epidurals. They don't do epidurals. They don't even give a Panadol during the labor.
Really
Oh wow.
Nothing, nothing,
harsh.
nothing
Mm,
at all. They don't, they're completely against it. So yeah, so that was tough. But and it took a while. And I think just once they finally decided that, you know, it's just better to do the C-section, everybody was just really relieved. And then
mm,
it was pretty quick. And then the baby came out, and that's it.
mm, mm.
Everything is good. Alhamdulillah.
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 Not even the mask, the oxygen mask, they don't
Nothing,
even.
not even that. Because you know, we have like when I had two of my girls in Cairo, and then I had my son in Toronto 17 years ago. I had an epidural with him. With the
Yeah.
girls in Cairo 28 years ago, you know, 29 years ago, كانش فيه ولا epidural ولا anything, but at least you got the
Mm,
mask. You got the
yes.
mask, you know? Nothing, nothing.
That's harsh. I delivered in London both of my children,
Yeah.
so I had the mask, and then they left me until the very end, and then they decided the C-section.
Yeah.
But it was tough. But I at least I had this mask.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
don't do anything. But was also really different though,
Mm,
is in all of my deliveries, you know, once you're checked into the hospital, they basically they strap you into the bed, basically,
mm,
put on
mm.
the monitor, and that's it. Like you don't move
Yeah.
from bed until it's
Yeah.
time to deliver. She was free to move the entire time. They didn't put a monitor on her. They would just I think every hour, 15 minutes, they would come in and do like they had like this portable monitor to check the heart.
Yes.
So she was moving around during the whole labor. She wasn't stuck on the bed. She was allowed to
Mm,
eat and drink the whole labor. I remember all
mm,
of mine, I wasn't allowed to just ice chips. I was not to eat
mm,
anything. They gave
Yes.
her food, they gave her meals, she was allowed to come and go, she was allowed to walk out. So it was very, very, I think they do it very much traditionally,
mm.
like, you know,
Natural way, like
very, very, very
we used
natural.
to do it long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was interesting to see. Um,
Yeah.
but you know, I was very curious how the actual delivery would have been also for
Mm,
with all
mm.
maybe God did this because they weren't going to give her anything for the pain during the labor. I don't know. But yeah, all is good. How is everybody here? How are you ladies?
We're good. We were just saying, me and Inji, that because it's Reem, by the way, because
Yes,
the name doesn't come up.
yeah,
It's a bit hard in Ramadan with
yeah.
Azim, like yesterday I was in Azuma, like, and the food was like amazing. So I cheated, by the way. I took a
Yeah.
piece of duck, and I took two pieces of mahshi basal, which
Was
is
that
good.
good? I've seen that on social media.
Yeah, it was really amazing. I do it very good.
Yeah,
and
you
she
know
did.
how?
Yeah, I know how. It's easy. It's very easy.
Okay.
But I love it. So I thought, I hope Dana approve what
I
I'm
mean,
doing.
you had duck and
I had
stuffed onion.
and stuffed onion and a lot of salad and greens.
I mean, there's nothing wrong there, right? There's nothing
Okay,
wrong with the duck. That's a protein.
perfect.
Onion,
Yeah,
it was like all vegetables with a little bit of rice on the inside and lots of
very
salad.
little because I remember you said no rice with meat with protein, but I
Ideally.
just
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, no, I would not feel guilty about this meal at all. No, there's nothing wrong here. This is considering it's Ramadan, considering it's Fatar, considering you're not in your own home. No, this is totally fine.
yeah,
I mean,
perfect.
we don't want to feel, there's no meal that we should ever feel guilty over eating, ever. Like, even if you had told me I went and had, McDonald's, there's no guilt attached to anything you eat. But just for, hypothetical, just to play devil's advocate, if we were going to apply guilt to a meal, it wouldn't be this one, far from it.
Okay, perfect. I
Okay.
just eat a lot of dates, a lot, because the sugar craving after iftar. So, and I love dates. Even before the detox, I love dates. I eat dates all year round, anytime. But especially now in Ramadan,
Yeah.
I eat so much dates, and people keep telling me, "You're going to have a diabetes. You're going to have a diabetic person. You're
No,
gonna gain weight." I don't care.
never happened. In the history of the world,
Mm.
in the history of the world, nobody has ever gotten diabetes from dates or fruits. Never.
Yeah.
Not one documented case.
This
So,
is what I said yesterday because everyone was talking about, they know I'm doing the detox with you,
yeah.
and they like, look after your sugar levels. You can. I said no, no. She said no, 100 times, 100% no. And they
And
say,
were
oh, you have to check that. No,
and
I
were
did.
these same people eating Ramadan desserts?
Yes, they sitting down eating ataif and
There you
stuff
go.
and drinking Amaridin. And I said to them, Yani, look at that kind of sugar you're
Yeah.
stuffing yourself
Yeah.
and lecture me about dates.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm,
Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna change, so you just go with the flow. You can either answer it or not. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
that's all
Yeah,
you just focus
true.
on yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So, I have a question, Dana, regarding
Yeah.
this specifically, especially dates.
Yeah.
We know it doesn't get your glucose up, but it does get your fructose up, right?
No, same difference. Doesn't do anything.
Oh.
All fruits, like, we talked about how you need the function of insulin, right? And the function of insulin, it has to rise a little bit to move any type of sugar, the good or the bad, to move it from your bloodstream inside your cells. So there always has to be a little uptick in order for insulin to do its job. With fruits, all fruits, including dates, the body uses the least amount of insulin to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And with some fruits, doesn't even use any. So yeah, doesn't make any difference at all.
Okay. Dana, another question for you.
Yes.
Yesterday, I just couldn't have my smoothie because I drink it like at 10 because
Okay.
I sleep at 7:30. But yesterday, I just couldn't. I was stuffed and I slept without it. And can I just skip it every now and then?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you had that big fatar yesterday, so I mean,
Exactly.
remember the body responds, right? It's gonna go with, the every single day it's gonna tweak a little bit based on what you've done. So if yesterday you had a much bigger fatar than what you're used to, then it's natural. Your body was still digesting at that time. So it didn't need anything else to go in. So there's nothing wrong with that. You listened to your body, you didn't overload it. So if you skipped it once and then you woke up today, how did you wake up today? How did you feel today?
Fine. Perfectly fine.
Okay, then that's again that your body's showing you that's okay. You did that. You didn't have the smoothie. I'm feeling good. Then that means it works.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dana, I have an observation rather than
Please.
just a question.
Yeah.
The first few days of Ramadan were really tricky, and I was messing up, and I had like عزومات and all of that, and I noticed that I'm back to insomnia. I can't sleep. My nights were like torture. I was up all night. It was painful, really, really painful.
Mhm.
And when I stopped, especially sugar, like all the days where I had like a toif or whatever, it was really, really bad. When I stopped all of that, all especially the sugar, I'm back to normal, you know. I sleep well, I feel better. It's just amazing the difference, you know. It's unbelievable. And I feel much more hydrated when I have the smoothie for suhoor than anything else.
Yeah.
Anything else.
Yes. Yes. Um, this is just, I mean, you know why this happens, right? I
No,
mean,
can you?
the sugar is not just the sugar. I mean, when you're having atayef, when you're having all the traditional Ramadan, yes, they're full of sugar, but they're also made with flour, you know, so and flour is another source of sugar, highly inflammatory food. And what happens is your liver can't rest at night. You know, it's supposed to rest and regenerate all throughout the night. So when you give it these highly inflammatory foods, and I would say a Ramadan dessert is probably one of the most inflammatory foods you could eat.
Yeah.
Your liver is going to be up all night. And imagine your liver is like an engine and you've put it on full on engine, right? It's like you just press the pedal all the way down and this engine is going to be working all night very hard to try and process this processed food, the sugar and the flour and everything that goes in. If it's a taif or a kunaf, maybe it has dairy in it, it has all other things in it as well. So it's on overload. So there's no way you're going to be able to relax into deep sleep. Not just in Ramadan, anytime that you're eating these foods, you cannot relax into deep sleep because the liver is working so hard. These foods also are going to, over time, maybe a couple of meals like this, but they will use up your reserves of magnesium. So they'll deplete magnesium in the body, and magnesium we know is the relaxation mineral. It's really important to have enough of it in general to be in a good mood, also to have a good night's sleep. And then once you remove it, then there's no more load. The liver can work the regular amount of work it needs to do at night so that you can sleep, and it responds. And this is a really important part of the process. So don't ever think, I've told you this before. Everybody goes through this where you go back and have these foods, and then it's the reason that has to happen because they remind you and they show you and they prove to you exactly what works better for your body and what doesn't. And
Yeah.
the smoothie for suhoor, that's pure water. Nothing is going to hydrate you, nothing more than fruits. The hydration in water cannot be compared to drinking a regular glass of water. It will never, you can have, 5 glasses of water at suhoor instead of a smoothie, and you won't feel as hydrated as having one smoothie at suhoor.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Dana, I have a question. Hi.
Hi, Hind.
Hi, how are you?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Mabruk.
Allah yabarik fiki. Thank you.
How's the baby?
He's adorable. He's adorable. I
Habibi.
mean, but I'm also a biased grandmother, but he's adorable.
Congratulations, Habibti.
Thank you.
I have a question. An observation, برضو. I realized that I repeated the deep detox for like 6 times or 5 times when I stopped before Ramadan.
Okay.
Well, ever since Ramadan started, أنا كده I've been eating only الحمد I'm living alone ما عنديش مشكلة العزايم والحاجات دي.
Okay.
I have been following a vegan diet.
Okay.
وباكل بس ابتديت introduce fat. بس I started noticing إنه مثلا when I stir fry veggies or when I add مثلا it was the first time for me to add tahini أصلا to my salad yesterday ever since we started. And sometimes I add avocados and sometimes not. But I've noticed in every single time I introduce a bit of healthy fat, برضو I get the bloating and I'm constipated كده شوية. It's like I'm not emptying everything out, even though I do have bowel movements, but it's not as good. And I feel bloated. And even now, even though I'm fasting, I'm still bloated. In a sense, not the same bloating as before, not a very bad one, but I feel I'm not كده at comfort and ease. I don't know, يعني, does that mean in, I shouldn't be eating fats خالص for a very long time? ولا is it the good fats? It's still healing زي the bloating from fruits and vegetables in the beginning.
So let me ask you this. Did you in any one of these trials have all of these on the same day? Avocado, tahina, and what was the other one you said?
Avocados, no. I used to sometimes eat them كده on their own in the salad itself.
Okay.
Yesterday was the first time to introduce tahini. It was only 1 tablespoon and one small avocado.
Together, okay.
In my salad, yes, in my salad. And yes, the stir-fried veggies, I usually eat them with a salad. But yesterday I also included them in the salad with the tahini and the avocados.
Okay, so I would recommend, we don't want to rule these out yet. The reason we might rule them out is that means that your liver is still not able to process fats. This is different than the bloating from, the gut scrubbing vegetables, okay? This is different. The fats go straight to the liver, and so if you're having trouble with that, it means your liver is still not able to process even good fats. So before we go ahead and say just leave them all out, I would take a break for a week, and then I want you to try each one of those on their own. Don't mix them together at all. Each one on their own, and leave 3 days between each one so that you're not confused about symptoms. And you can be very clear. I had the avocado.
Okay.
Waited 3 days, nothing, because the symptom can show up anywhere from 10 minutes to 3 days. So I took the avocado, 3 days passed, nothing happens. It means you're good with avocado. Have your tablespoon of tahina, wait 3 days, see what happens. And then if you try with everything and you get no reaction, then I would try a mix again to confirm it, that it was the mix and an overload instead of just a little bit of fat on its own every day.
Okay, and in the 3 days in between, أكل بقى fruits and veggies, but 0 fats, right?
Yes, you would only have the fat the one time and then wait 3 days with, yes, exactly.
With nothing, okay.
Yeah.
And what if I find out that each one of them gives me a reaction? How long should I keep eliminating?
Means the liver's still tired. Your liver's still tired.
So should I just continue without any fats for like another month or so?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dana.
Hi,
congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a question about the flow of the period. Actually, I noticed for my case, the first 2 days was very happy, and then the third day, this cycle and the last one, it's it stops, not that heavy. It can stop for a day, and then it comes back again the 4th day.
Okay.
And it can continue till 7th day. What's this?
Okay. It's not supposed to do that. So this still means that think of your menstrual flow. It's a fluid that comes out of your body that is it is one of your detox fluids, right? It's like urine, it's like a bowel movement, it's like sweat. It does carry toxins out of the body. So anytime we see it's too heavy, it's too long, it's too dark, start, stop, that means it's too full of toxins still.
Okay.
It's still regulating. So your goal is to get it to be where it's just, like I said, open faucet, steady, maybe 4 days, maybe even 5 days, and then stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dana.
Hello, hi, Rihem.
Hi, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Alf Mabruk. I have a question and an observation both. So I've been, what do you do when you get bored? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like all types of vegetables like the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli and all that. It's like I genuinely don't like them. It's not that they make me, I don't like the taste of them, but I have them every once in a while just for the sake I know they're good and all that. So I've been sticking to only certain ones like, mixed vegetables, zucchinis. But what do you do when you get bored of these? I mean, it's like every single day having like either a zucchini soup or vegetable soup, and then having the mixed vegetables or some sort of zucchini. I even went as far as I did zucchini potato cupcakes, so to change this around.
What do
because there's not so many options out there, I'm on repeat. This was a bit boring for me. This is the part, what do I do with this? And then the second, the observation I had is that I stopped suhoor altogether, like all past the past week. I haven't had the celery or the smoothie. Part of it is like I don't feel that I have to eat by the time I go to sleep, or I'm not hungry or thirsty. And part of it is like, by the time it's 11 or 12 p.m., I'm just too tired to like do the smoothie and do the celery and wait in between to drink them and all that. And I've noticed that the first, when I used to have them, the second day I'm all full of energy and I'm fine, and it's like, the perfect day, I can do a million things. This week, by the end of the week, it's like, by the end of last week, it's like I have no energy. My energy is beginning to be drained, like right before iftar. So I guess that's the effect of the smoothie and the celery and what they do. And I can't wait till the end of Ramadan and then go back on the 9-day. It's like, routine is good.
Yes, it is. Your body thrives that way. And it's a great observation, like all the other ones, right? Your body's showing you that maybe you can go for one day, Reem, you went for one day, right? And it was fine. But potentially to skip it, day by day by day by day, like it's one thing to be, less hydrated for one day, but the longer you do that, the more you get dehydrated, and dehydration automatically means no energy right away. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. So you've seen that now. You have the direct personal experience of it. You know exactly what it's going to do to you. And so then how to fix that, how to remedy that. Like if you want to go for the end of Ramadan still feeling tired, then you would continue to skip it, potentially getting really, really tired by the end of Ramadan. Potentially by the real extreme end of this would be your body's going to crave the sugars because it's all the sugar fuel, right? So beware of this. You do this long enough, because if iftar for you is what? Are you having protein and vegetables or just vegetables?
Not protein every day, protein maybe twice a week.
Okay, so your iftar has 0 sugar, basically. So your main source of sugar or fuel is your smoothie or fruits, and celery doesn't have a lot of sugar, but it's lots of water. So gradually, you'll keep getting dehydrated, you'll keep getting really tired, but then your body's going to be lacking in sugar, and you're going to get the sugar craving. You might not relate it to a lack of fruits, and then you might just think the first thing I need to do is go and have sugar. And then if you're at Azuma 10 days from now, towards the end of Ramadan, and you're still feeling, you're still not having suhoor, and it's iftar time, and you're dehydrated, and you were tired, and your body's giving you a sugar craving, it's going to be that much easier for you to reach for the Ramadan desserts. And you'll be justified in doing it, right? Because you would have eliminated sugar for a long time, or long enough for the body to say, give me something.
Okay. And I also noticed that, I mean, I've been eventually, after the first 2 months, I started losing the weight, so I was happy with that. But then since the beginning of Ramadan, I've been stable, no weight loss, despite that there's no suhoor, or the suhoor is just the smoothie, and we're following that. It's like literally 0 grams.
So this also, you're eating less, even though you're just eating vegetables, a little bit of protein, food. There is a meal that's missing. So anytime we decrease, the body's not getting the full amount of food that it eats, it's going to hold on to whatever it is getting, because it knows that there's going to be a period of time when it should be getting fuel, but it's not. So again, a very natural response from the body. The other issue could be if your sleep pattern is interrupted or shifted for any reason at all. This is going to slow down weight loss. The body cannot, because of the metabolism and the circadian rhythm are so connected. When that gets interrupted, then weight loss can be challenging.
Okay.
Those are the two main things that happen, in Ramadan that can, if you're not exercising or if you're not moving, at least to help this time, that can also affect it.
All right. Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome.
Dana, I have 2 more questions.
Go ahead.
One regarding the period flow that you were just talking about. So you said that a healthy flow means as if you've turned on a faucet.
Yeah.
Okay, and it keeps bleeding for the three days in a row, non-stop.
Yep.
With no pauses.
Nope. I mean, usually when we sleep, it pauses a bit sometimes. It might not flow out just because you're lying down, but pretty much an even. So not a super heavy flow from the beginning that sort of decreases, more of a medium flow from beginning to end. And maybe at the very end, you'll notice you'll know that it's ending, right? But it's not where it drags out. It's not where the ending drags out for another 4 days of just like little spotting, little spotting, little spotting. No, it is a clear ending.
Okay, concerning that, but my last period in Ramadan, the beginning of Ramadan, was light to medium flow.
Good.
It lasted also for 3.5 days. But it turned on and off. It wasn't 100% flowy all the time, and it was light in color.
Okay, that's good.
It was and I barely felt any PMS symptoms as well the week before. Yes, because I usually get very depressed around that time, but I noticed that my insomnia levels were very high the week prior to my period, but I was not depressed. I was not in a bad mood, but I was wondering, why am I not sleeping that week, Progesterone should be rising and it should be more cozy.
Right. But I mean,
so I don't know if insomnia is a thing.
The body's not going to heal every single symptom at the same time, right? So the fact that you weren't depressed, that's a huge one. Okay.
Yes.
That's a huge one.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So,
and I was very energetic as well.
Yeah, right. So that's what your body decided is a priority for you right now. Let's deal with this first. Let's have energy first, and then next step will be the insomnia.
Okay, the second question is further regarding the other topic, and she said she was skipping things. I have been skipping the celery for the past week. Honestly, it's not like that I don't have taste for it, but it's just with fasting and everything, the preparation, and I also use a blender and straining it.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking lots of lemon water and also a lot of fruits. I'm not skipping on fruits at all. I usually have a lot of dates. I usually eat a lot of strawberries and mangoes and oranges, and I eat a bunch of fruits. I either blend them or eat them.
Okay.
So I'm not skipping on fruits, but I have been skipping on the cucumber/celery. So could that also be a potential reason why I'm having a much harder time processing or breaking down the fats, the healthy fats that I'm eating? Or is it not necessary?
Not necessarily, no, because if you weren't having all these other things that you just mentioned, it might be, but no.
And I'm also eating like huge amounts of green salad, and I put literally everything raw in there.
Yeah,
I'm even eating eggplants raw. So so
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's in my case, that's not a big issue, right?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next Sunday's class, ladies, is our last Q&A. So Q&A on Sunday, and then Tuesday is our last class for the program. And it's not a Q&A, it's just going to be a congratulatory class. So in terms of getting questions answered, concerns, anything that you need to have cleared up for you before the end of the program, it's today and Sunday. And again, I'm going to remind you all that if you need to download things off the group, copy paste any information you need off the group, please also spend some time this week doing that, because the group will close on Thursday. What is that? The 26th, I think, or 27th. The group will close at the end of the day on Thursday. So I've shared with you the link for the YouTube playlist that has all of these Zoom sessions. I've shared that on the group. We will reshare it for sure before I close the group. So you do have access. You do have access to all of the recordings, but the group will close. So please, please, please make sure that anything that you think that you saw before, you forgot to download or copy paste, do that in the next 10 days, please. All right. And if you are not sure how, use the search bar in the group, type in the word of the whatever it is you're searching for. And anytime we talked about that is all going to get pulled up for you. It might take you some time to, look through it and see exactly what it is that you want to copy paste and save. But please, please do that, because the group will close, ladies. All right. And I will also be off. So once Thursday hits, I'm actually going to take a few months off. I'm going to be in Tokyo anyway until May. So I will be completely off at least until May. I'm not even going to be sending out emails. You might have noticed I didn't send out any emails, my general emails, even this week. So I will be totally off also until at least middle of May. And then I'm going to see if I'm going to take the rest of the time off or not. But so if you need anything answered between now and Thursday, please reach out to me.
Then I have a question.
Yes.
The big no-nos when it comes to choosing magnesium or a supplement are all written in the detox guide, right?
Yes, there's a list there of there's always, for that list and for the list of ingredients to look out for in the skincare products, they're not 100% comprehensive. They are the biggest culprits, all right? And when you're looking for a supplement and or when you're looking for skin products, it's very, 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 very few brands actually fulfill the requirement of being 100% clean, whether it's the supplements, whether it's skincare products. For supplements, let me just remind you that you don't need to be buying 15.
I'm talking about magnesium.
Magnesium is the one I recommend. Other than that, I mentioned this before because some of you were sharing lots of, snapshots of the ingredients on your supplements, like lots and lots and lots of supplements. You don't need any of that. We don't want to replace, like medication with supplements. That's not how healing works. So focus on one or two. Maybe, I always recommend magnesium. Maybe the other thing will be, and then I always say prioritize herbs over synthetics. So maybe you'll go for ashwagandha. Maybe you'll go for spirulina. But don't ever feel that you need to go and get the B12 and the vitamin C and the magnesium and the vitamin D. We also know there's, for vitamin D, for example, the pill is never, never going to give you what 30 minutes every day in the sunshine is going to give you. So don't feel like there is this pressure. I mean, you might feel it because of media, because of people on social media, nutritionists, I've seen all sorts of things. Nobody has ever been in the history, again, of the world, right? When people were healthy and thriving, they weren't doing that because they were on supplements. So be very discerning about which supplement you want to buy. And then when you buy it, don't go crazy trying to find the one. I have shared the few brands that are actually almost 100% clean. A couple of them are, but they're not easily accessible in Cairo. So don't kill yourself also trying to get these. Get the ones that have the least amount of synthetics added in. And the same goes for the skincare products. If you don't want to buy sort of the special, organic, clean skincare products, then just do the oil cleansing method. That's all you need to do. Castor oil and a washcloth, and you're good to go.
And what's the biggest no in a magnesium supplement? Like the one when I look at, that's a big no.
The biggest one I'm going to say is something called magnesium stearate. If it has talc, that's another really big one. If it just has the term bulking agents, that's a big one. Those are the ones that stand out the most to me. Any kind of color, sometimes they have a coloring in there. Those are the biggest ones that I can think of, but the rest are in the list in your guide.
Okay, thank you, love.
You're welcome.
So Dana, we will have all the YouTube sessions you shared with us. We can keep it.
Yep, they're there. I'll reshare the link to the playlist, and when you click on it, you'll find all of the sessions in one section together on YouTube.
Facebook, yeah.
No, you'll find them on YouTube. I'll share the link in the Facebook group. Copy and paste that link somewhere and save it. When you click on that link, it'll take you to YouTube, to a playlist, and you'll see them all listed with the newest one first and the oldest one all the way at the bottom.
Okay, right. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dana, I found the magnesium Terra Nova, but it's not written any specific kind. It's just magnesium 100 milligram complex.
There's no list of ingredients?
There is, but there is no its kind. I mean, there are many types of magnesium that you listed. This one is...
Take a picture of it and take a picture of the ingredients and share it on the group or email me and I can let you know.
Okay, it's in Greek. I'll try to see it. Thank you.
Okay. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's very, very, very cute. Women have sent me, I don't know why they think I speak German. I don't. So they've sent me a list of ingredients in German. They have sent me list of ingredients in other languages. Like, and I'll go through and translate. Like, okay, why not? Let me learn this, you know? So go ahead, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Dana.
Hello. Hi, Zainab.
Hi. First of all, congratulations.
Thank
How's
you.
your daughter doing now?
She's recovering. She's recovering. A C-section is challenging, but it's a very, you can see the progress little by little. So she was up and walking today, very slow, going to the bathroom by herself. So it's a gradual process, but alhamdulillah.
Inshallah, she'll be better soon.
Thank you.
I have a question. So last time when I was mentioning my issue with the Brussels sprouts and mushrooms and all of that, you told me to stick to juices and smoothie.
Yeah.
So that goes for how long? Because I noticed yesterday, because I'm traveling again, so I only had like grilled veggies. It included Brussels sprouts. However, I found myself the next day to be really bloated.
Okay. So you mean right now you don't have access to the juices or the smoothies or anything? Is that what you're saying? Or...
I'm in Dubai, so it's easily, that kind of different shops that sells blends of fruits.
Yeah.
So these are the smoothies that are available here. So those are the ones I took yesterday.
Okay, so stick with those. Make sure that if you're able to, there's none of the ladies here are in Dubai. We have a couple of ladies in Dubai. Maybe they can help. Make sure that the quality, that they're making the juices fresh in front of you. Because I know there are some places where the juices are made ahead of time, sometimes frozen. Sometimes they have things added to the juice, like preservative, things you might not know about. So as much as you can, if you're able to say, right, here's some of them will make the combination for you also that you prefer. So as much as you can, don't buy the ready-made ones. If you go to a specific, juice bar or something, I think anyway, they'll make it fresh. So always prioritize those over juices and smoothies that you find in maybe in a supermarket or something that are ready-made.
Okay.
Okay.
And
but
in Dubai, there is a very good place because when I was there, I used to go and they do my juice on the spot. It calls Haga and the Moon. Juice and the Moon. They're very, very good. They're next to the in the boulevard, the big place, there is a next to Dubai Mall. Moon and they call, I can't remember.
Wild and the Moon?
Wild and the Moon, yes. They do everything for you.
Much.
Yeah. They're perfect.
Do they deliver? Maybe that would help also.
Yeah, they deliver. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Yeah. That's always an option if they can make your own sort of combination for you and all of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So do that. And as to how long, I would say until you start to feel a shift in your symptoms, right? And you'll feel it. Your body will tell you when it's starting to heal.
So shall I avoid like garlic, onions, green salads, and all of these ingredients?
Were they also giving you the same as the
Yes.
sprouts? They were. But see, these are super, super healing as well. I mean, if you're gonna remove the Brussels sprouts and the other ones, we want to keep something. Obviously, the fruits and the juices and the smoothies are also healing. What are you having with, like, so you're having your juices and smoothies for lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or how often are you having?
Yes.
Okay. I would do that. I would
Right now, because of fasting, I just break my fast on smoothie.
Right, because you're
But right here, because yesterday I didn't have access, so I did a green salad.
okay.
And normally on suhoor, I repeat like my routine, and in between either lemon balm, detox, like hibiscus, whatever.
Okay. And how did the salad make you feel?
It makes me feel very bloated. It's
Still.
like my IBS symptoms starting to get back in terms of bloating, in terms of hurt. And the thing is, my IBS, always one of the worst symptoms I have when it comes to IBS is that every single time I'm breathing, I can feel the pain in my chest area and my abdominal area. So this is why I always try to avoid foods that would make me feel like that. This is why I'm asking.
Yes. So that we know that raw, even though they're very healing, right now your system needs something that's more gentle, more gentle, healing, less work. No, it doesn't need to break anything down. So I would keep those out for now. Just stick with the fruits, whether you, how are you with just eating chopped up fruits? Is that okay?
Yes, but I found smoothies to be much easier.
Definitely. I'm just curious as to does your digestive system react the same way to chopped fruits as it does to a chopped salad?
Yes.
So it also bloats you and irritates you, the fruits.
Yes.
Okay. So stick with the smoothies, juices, and then if you want to do vegetable soups.
Okay.
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 And Dana, you said that the grapefruit can be used interchangeably with lemon in combination.
Yes.
If I'm eating animal protein and I want to marinate the salad, for instance, with grapefruit instead of lemons, it's okay?
Yes. And orange.
Okay.
Orange, lemon, grapefruit, both work. All three work.
Even with animal protein?
I
or
mean,
a salad dressing?
you're not, it's a dressing. Like you're not eating the whole fruit, right?
Okay.
Technically, that shouldn't be a big, and it's not like you're eating a whole glass of orange juice, right? With your protein. It's a little bit of orange juice, with the dressing. But again, try it and see.
I wasn't gonna say orange, but I was gonna say grapefruit since it's very, very low in sugar as well. It's very close to lemon, so that's why. So I think the grapefruit is safe, right?
100%.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dana, I have a question regarding sunblock, especially with like summer coming up, and it's not like you'll just sit in the sun for a few minutes when we stay, I mean, like a holiday, in the summer.
Yeah.
So do we add like sunblock or what do you recommend?
Yeah. If you're going, from basically no sun, no holiday, basically you're at home, regular routine, home, work, errands, and then all of a sudden you go on to the beach, right? And you're going to be in the sun for 5, 6, 7 hours a day, then definitely you need to protect your skin because one, you haven't had time to train it gradually to be able to spend that much time in the sun. So what you need to do in that case is you need to go for the natural ones. So there's the list of ingredients again in your detox guide. Basically, the best natural one is just plain zinc. If you can find the creamy zinc, that's it. Without any other added ingredients. Because I know you live in the UK, it'll be easier for you to find that.
Yes.
Otherwise, in Cairo, Black Lotus has one. I think Joviality. I'm not sure if they have one also. Black Lotus is the one that comes to mind, top of mind as a natural sunscreen. But keep in mind also that the natural sunscreens, you need to apply them more frequently than the conventional ones. So just,
Okay.
the heads up when you're using them for the first time.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then I have a question. So I think like 2 sessions ago, you mentioned that the fruits, if it left, it can oxidize. So I want to ask if I want to prepare my smoothie and then take it to work. So technically, I'm gonna consume it like 3-4 hours later. Is that okay?
Yeah, when you pre-prepare any juices or smoothies, in order for them not to oxidize, you want to make sure that you fill up your mason jar or jar, whatever it is you're going to keep them in, like almost to the top, so there's literally hardly any air between the top of the juice and the lid. Put on the lid very tight, okay? So there's very little air that got trapped inside. I know some die hard, juicers who will fill it all the way so that when they put the lid, they get an overspill, the juice actually comes out, and that way they've ensured that there's literally no air inside. And then as long as you keep it refrigerated, then you're perfectly good to go for 24 hours.
Okay. I have another question. How do I identify if I have any food allergies? Like I noticed when I add strawberries to the smoothie, I normally find acne at my chest and back area. But when I remove it, this acne starts to get better. So does it have like any sort of relation, or is it just, I don't know.
So you need to be very clear on the difference between a food allergy and a food sensitivity. So a food allergy tends to show up instantly. So you eat the food, and then within a few minutes, your body reacts to it. Either a rash, something shows up on your skin. The really extreme ones, people will, their throat will constrict. People have like EpiPens and things like that. That's, the different sort of ways that a food, it could be potentially life-threatening, a food allergy. Most food allergies are identified very early on in life. Most of them, like if you're a child, and maybe you have a strawberry is a very common one, maybe peanuts, something like that. If you're just starting to discover something about a food you're eating that didn't used to be before, then it might be a food allergy. It might also be just a food sensitivity. So there is a bit of a difference. Typically, food allergies carry a life-threatening potential, okay? A sensitivity doesn't. If you're noticing that this is happening with strawberries specifically, strawberries happen to be on what's called the Dirty Dozen list, which is in North America, there's a list that comes out every year of sort of the 13 or 15 fruits and vegetables that are the most heavily sprayed, and that when you buy them, if you're not going to buy anything organic, these should be the most organic things that you buy. Of course, I don't know how this list applies internationally, okay? But it could be that your body is reacting to the pesticides in the strawberries because they are highly sprayed, one of the most highly sprayed crops, okay? So the first thing you would do if you want to test this is obviously remove the strawberries for a while. And then if you can find organic strawberries, pesticide-free, chemical-free, blah, 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 test it with those and see what happens. If you still get a reaction, then we know that it's just the strawberry. Your body doesn't want the strawberry.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one last question. So ever since the start of the program, as I told you, I was never able to consume like the full amounts you were giving us.
Yeah.
And it sort of made me feel weak because in a normal case scenario, I'll go for whatever burgers, dessert, whatever I have in front of me to satisfy my cravings. But right now, just because like I know like this is not the healthiest thing, so I tend to avoid it and I end up not consuming anything. So right now I just want to sort of more than healing, like revive because I don't have energy, I don't have anything. So what do you recommend for that? Like what can speed up this like kind of reviving or increasing my energy basically?
Well,
like is it super supplements?
There's nothing that gives energy like raw fruits and vegetables. Nothing, right? Not a piece of protein, even your cooked vegetables and soups are not going to have as much life force and energy like raw fruits and vegetables. But we know that when you're like, if you're right now, all you're doing is just the fruits, the smoothies and the juices, and you're fasting, so you're only having them twice a day, okay? So your body's actually not getting enough of this energy. Okay, so we do have the problem, just the challenge, temporary challenge of Ramadan right now. When Ramadan is over, you will be having a juice or a smoothie every 2 hours, because that is the healing dose also for it to actually be healing you. Right now, we're just sort of mitigating Ramadan, trying to minimize your symptoms, but so that whenever you do eat still, you end up having something that can help move you forward. Is it going to give you energy in Ramadan when you're only having it twice a day? No. Do you want to maybe start trying to have more between Fatar and Suhoor? You can definitely do that. You can definitely, like every 2 hours, every 2.5 hours, have another smoothie, have another juice, have another smoothie. Because you're lacking fuel right now. This is why you feel tired. So there is nothing else that can actually fuel the body and give you energy the same way that they can. Everything else is either cooked, which automatically kills off vitamins and minerals and hydration, or is dead. Animal protein is dead. I mean, there can be all the arguments in the world for animal protein. I enjoy my animal protein just as the next person, but it's dead. And nothing dead, right, can give you energy. It might give you something else, but it can't give you energy. And it actually requires a lot of energy for the body to break it down. And the more energy your body needs to exert to break something down, the less energy you will have to function. So raw fruits and vegetables don't take any energy. They don't require any energy from the body. And then they give you energy in return. So for you, I would say you're just missing quantity right now. You've got the quality, but it's just not enough. So until Ramadan is over, if you can continue to consume them between Fatar and Suhoor, do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one last question. It's not a question, it's an observation, and I'm sure you have been through this. Just because you know too much, you are too aware of, the foods, the patterns, everything. When you are on the table with the family and they eat normally like they will eat, I feel like, oh my God, I really want to go crazy over all of them. Like, please don't mix, don't eat rice with protein, but don't eat mahshi and then eat molokhia and then have protein and then have the dessert right after. So lately, why am I mentioning this? I feel like it's been a little bit mentally draining for me, like seeing them and trying to give them advice, but then they never listen, or they just, you are overreacting, you don't know, like blah, blah, blah. So what's your advice for this one?
I totally relate. It still gets me to this day, even though I've done a lot of work so that I don't find myself in this trap. It still gets me. Here's what you have to remember. Everybody is free to eat whatever they want and basically live whatever they want and do whatever they want. And it's not for me or any of us to be telling anybody what to eat or what's better unless somebody has specifically asked you for advice, right? So what you want to do in these instances is, I would say, what I try to do is focus on the company, focus on the people, focus on the conversations, focus on the connection, as long as you're eating your food the way you want to eat it, and just live and let live is what you have to go by, because you cannot make anybody do something they don't want to do unless they're convinced of it. You cannot even talk about it if, you have to sort of know your audience, right? If you're sitting at a table and everybody's eating all the traditional foods and having clearly no issues with it, as 99% of people do, you need to be also smart about it. Like, is this the time for me to talk about mixing foods really with these people, right? So it is a learning curve for yourself as well. So live and let live. You focus on yourself. You lead by example. You might have somebody who's watching you from afar, admiring what you're doing. Eventually, at some point, come and ask you, what are you doing? And then it will be so much more rewarding at that point for you to have saved yourself, unnecessary, advice that falls on deaf ears, where one person who's going to be really open to hearing what you have to say, and then you'll make a real difference with just that one person. So just wait for it to come to you. Don't go after it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to ask about something else. Actually, two things. The first thing, what do you think of IVF? Like the vitamins and the boosters and all of this.
I mean, you heard me say what I think of regular supplements, right? These
Yeah.
all, it's just ways to get your money, right? Like, don't do anything. Don't go change your lifestyle. Just come in and get this expensive, IV cocktail, and you'll be perfectly fine. No, you won't. It doesn't work that way. I would say if you consider it after you've done everything, right? And then you also need to know, what's in these, like the vitamins they're putting in them. Are they the synthetic version? Are there's additives? Are there's bulky? Like, you also need to know what's actually going in them, not just, oh, here's a great, B12 cocktail, come and get your energy back, right? Most of these are just like the basic supplement industry, right? It's just there to make you feel like there's something missing in you, something is lacking in you. You don't have the power to change. You don't have the power to heal yourself. Here, come in for a quick fix. I just remembered something for you for the strawberries. If you don't find organic, or even if you do, wash them and soak them in baking soda also before you eat.
Baking soda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Zainab, I did the IV before entering with Dana, the B complex and the cocktail, and they have amazing names for the cocktails.
Yeah.
Actually, all of this is temporary. So you will feel, you have energy for like a week, 10 days, and then if you don't eat well, it's just gonna drop. So no worth it. And it's tons of money, no worth it.
Okay, thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, direct experience. Nothing beats it.
Yeah. My last question would be when my periods are skipping. So normally I have skipped periods, and I know this is because of undernourishment or malnutrition or whatever. Right now I do have it again, but I don't know if I can relate it to PCOS or relate it to me not getting enough, vitamins, because lately I have been getting a lot of juices, at least for the past 2 weeks. So as you recommended, like 4 or 5 smoothies minimum by the time between iftar and suhoor. However, my period still skipped this month.
It can take a full year for your period to come back again every single month. It can take a full year for you to be eating this way and to be healing, and for it to become regular every single month. So it's still too early.
So when it comes to the symptoms are the thing that is going to get easier by time, but when it comes to my period, it's going to take longer time.
Also take time. Yeah, it could also take time. It might come for like 2 months regular, and then 3 months irregular, and then come back again, 3 months regular, and then 2 months irregular. It's due to a lack of nutrients. The reason it's got messed up is it didn't have the proper nutrients, the organs that produce your hormones, your whole entire reproductive system didn't have the right building raw materials it needs to function properly. And now you're giving it those raw materials again. So it has to regenerate that whole system again to be able to get it to function normally. And that can take up to 1 year.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
I think, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I've worked with some, detox teachers who really, they're hardcore detoxing for healing. And one of the things I learned from them is that menstrual blood, okay, is not a necessity for fertility, let's say, right? That when we talk about fertility and reproductive health, the most important thing is ovulation. And if any of you have heard, we've all heard of women who've just had babies, And because of the mix in hormones, you don't actually get your period. You might not get your period for a few months after childbirth. And then some women think that they don't have their period, so they can't get pregnant. And then all of a sudden they find themselves pregnant 3 months after they just had a baby. Because fertility requires ovulation. It doesn't require menstruation. So what I learned from these deep detox teachers, that because menstruation, the blood, is a bodily fluid, right? Just like urine, just like sweat. It is just a way of removing toxins from the body. It collects the toxins and removes them. The less toxins you have in your body, and some of you are already discovering this, the less flow you have. It's because there's less there to be moved out. The lighter color means that the blood contains less toxins. So would they say that when the body reaches an absolute level of no toxins, there's no period? And that doesn't affect fertility. You can still get pregnant because it's about the quality of the eggs and whether you are ovulating every single month. So if you're curious about the Zainab, I would get, and maybe Maria also. I don't know if I told you this, Maria. Get an ovulation kit and see if you're ovulating every month. That's actually a better indicator of your reproductive health than the blood flow every single month. I mean, we know that the color of the blood, like what it looks like, how long, that's also an indicator. But in terms of, am I fertile? Is the system working? Ovulation is key. And see if you ovulate on the same day every single month. So get the ovulation kit. They have them in all the pharmacies.
So Dana, the myth about the period and the flow and body weight, even if I'm maybe underweight or just limit weight, but I'm eating healthy, is that okay?
Yeah. If you're ovulating,
I need to have ovulation
every single month, then yeah, then you're okay.
Okay, I will get the kit. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question, since we don't have time after, like, we are technically finishing Ramadan and you are taking time off. If I found myself not to be ovulating, shall I be worried, or what shall I do in this case? Because normally I would skip going to any doctors, to be honest. It's just medicines.
Same thing, right? We need to get your ovary. Okay, so it's your ovaries that produce the eggs. It means the ovary is malnourished, undernourished, / malnourished or undernourished. We need to get the ovary, we need to get those raw materials to your ovaries again so that they can start to produce the eggs. And again, that can take up to a year.
Okay, thank you so much, Dana.
Dana, I have one last question.
Please.
The best way to preserve chopped fruits and veggies, as you were saying, even without a smoothie, if I'm gonna like chop half an avocado and use it for next day, for instance, is to keep it airtight, just that?
Yeah.
Okay, in the fridge, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it lasts the best for 24 hours, not more than that.
I mean, I've made a fruit salad that maybe has lasted a day and a half. Like if I make a huge one and we're all eating from it, sometimes everybody's really hungry and the huge bowl finishes in 6 hours. Sometimes if my son's eating out, my daughter's not there, the same bowl can stay in the fridge for a day and a half, But
okay,
it's still all.
But no more than 48 hours, that's 100% sure.
Yeah, definitely. No more than that.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else, ladies? All right, so I will share the recording, and sometime between now and the end of the group, I've already shared the link before. I will reshare it again for the YouTube playlist, and then I will see you all on Sunday, inshallah, same time, same place. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day, ladies. Good night.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
Bye.
Bye.